You are live and we are here.
We are
This
here.
is Sky Juice coming to you live and direct. And we have the fantabulous Tony B in his house.
That is me, Tony B, in the house. Good evening, people.
Good
Hope everybody's having a
evening.
wonderful Friday.
It's Friday. So, what's going on, Tony? How are you today?
Made it through the week. Made it through the I don't know what we call it, the gas shortage, the gas
Crisis
or whatever. The next what we call people to freak out about as far as the end of the world or Armageddon or something. I don't know.
That is definitely a problem. There's a problem with folks out here.
Always, yeah, always over
fear-based. So much fear. Why do people live like that?
I don't know. Is it the media that's causing that?
Yes. I mean, I think it's the media, but I think people are just. I need to use my words carefully.
Yes.
I just think, like, why are people filling up garbage bags with gasoline? Like, where is the brain power? Where is the intelligentsia?
They call it panic buying, and I never was aware of that term until the pandemic first started, when everybody went out and bought up all the toilet paper, which I still don't know the connection between coronavirus and toilet paper. But anyways, you buy up all the toilet paper, they buy up all the food, they buy up all the I don't know. I don't get it. It's just like people just think that everything is just going wrong. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, I don't know why they want to believe that, the lack of fuel is going to be, forever. They already said it's just slowed down. It's not completely gone, but you see people filling up bags, filling up gas cans. It's just, and it kind of relates to, what I wanted to touch on was the cybersecurity, in this country and all around the world right now. And, with modern technology, which, I like to talk about technology or modern technology or how it's so much of a help, like myself, probably like most people, they do everything through the computer or the phone. You can pay every single bill you have, from your rent to your cell phone bill to whatever, right? But at the end of the day, you got to think about what your information that you're putting out there. I paid my gas bill the other day. I'm calling and, okay, do you want to use the last credit card? Yes. Okay. What's the last three of the security code? And as I'm punching it in the phone, I'm thinking about, damn, I'm putting this information, like all of this information that is about me. If somebody was able to hack in, they could get this and clear out my whole bank account. Now, mind you, I don't have the type of bank account that these major corporations have, so those people aren't thinking about me. But if you think about it on a smaller scale, smaller level, right? Say, for instance, one of these hackers decide they want to break into Bank of America or Navy Federal's bank, right? And take $1 out of 100,000 people's account.
Yeah, that's clever.
Would you miss $1?
I wouldn't. I probably wouldn't.
Would you miss $5?
Nope.
You know what I mean? So
I probably have lost a couple of hundreds of dollars by not paying attention to my account.
Yeah.
So that's unfortunately scary, because anyone can come and grab it, and I would be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
you think about that, and you think about, how that can affect people and how they can do that, And from what I heard, the oil company that got hijacked, because I guess that's what they call it now, they're hijacking a company.
Wow.
That you can't. They're taking the company hostage, so where the company can't get any money from the customers. So.
Oh, that's what was happening.
Yeah, and the company actually paid $5 million to get their company back. They paid the ransom, as they call it, which to me, you're talking about an oil company, a fuel company that's probably a multi-billion-dollar company. So 5 million, what's 5 million in them? $5.
That's like a few minutes.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And then they'll probably, hike the gas prices up to get that money back from us
tomorrow.
You know what I mean? Exactly. Any excuse to hike the gas prices up,
Right.
So that's going to happen. But it goes back to, like I say, they talk about cybersecurity, and they say that right there is really nothing. It's so much more that could be done. If right now, if they hack the grid and they cut out all the electricity in all of the city of Atlanta, or all of the city of Las Vegas, or all of LA, do you know how much panic and chaos that would cause?
Okay, so yes, I do understand that, but I also wonder about the fact that why are people so easily why do people get so like crazy about every situation that happens? Why do people go into this like, oh my God, we're not going to have gas for the rest of our lives, so let me just fill up this tote that I normally put my comforter in and put it in the back of my car and then blow up. Like, that's all I can say. I was hoping I wouldn't hear it. Like, I really was hoping, but I was like, if I do hear of someone blowing up something yesterday, I won't be shocked. That's what I was saying. So wait, I got a comment. Bartender lady Novia. I know Novia. Actually, I like this no gas thing. I've been telling my colleagues on the South Side I can't meet them anywhere because I have to save my gas. Now I have an extra coins to DoorDash. Yeah, but the problem is DoorDash is going to go up because of the gas thing. You know what I mean?
Everything is going to go up. Yeah.
Everything is going to go up because of the gas thing. Probably even Netflix, Hey, Brian Ralph, I see you.
Ralph, what's happening with you, my man? Thanks for the support as always.
But anyway, I think what I have a really hard problem with is I really have a hard problem with the panic attacks that people have. And, I even talked to a couple friends and I was like, you got gas? And they were like, yeah, my car's full and I got 10 tanks and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, nope, I'm not doing it. I'm not killing myself. Whatever gas I have is what I'm going to have. And if it runs out, I'm just going to stay home. That's how I felt. I was like, I can't make it. I'm not going out of my way to drive. What did a friend say? They drove to like 7 different gas stations looking for gas. And guess what's the only gas they had available?
Just a regular.
Diesel.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Diesel was the only thing available. So the truckers really didn't. You know what I'm saying? And then the conspiracy theorist in me also says, did this really happen? You get what I'm saying?
I mean,
did this really happen? Did someone from Russia really hack into, did that really happen? Or is that what they told us?
Well, from what I hear, when they do stuff like that, they're just doing that stuff to let them know that, we got you. We can do, what, because like I say, panicking about gas, we look at it as being stupid. I think it's stupid or whatever. But like I said, what happens when the whole electrical grid is cut out? What are you going to do? You have no internet. You have no phone. You got your cell phone, but that's not going to work too well because the cell phone towers aren't going to be working. You know what I mean?
Okay, so I lived on an island in a hurricane. And all of that all of that was gone.
Yeah.
Worst thing you can ever not have out of all this luxury that we live in, the worst thing you cannot have is running water. That's it. If you don't have electricity, if the power goes out, everyone's fine. You just read some books, play some card games.
And it sounds good. It sounds good.
That's what we did.
But what do you think really is going to happen here in the United States? We just got through talking about how people were panicking over no gas. What do you think people are going to do if there's no electricity? It's going to be some purge type shit going on. You know what I mean?
Look at when a hurricane hits. When a hurricane hits, because that's when a natural disaster comes through, or tornado, or in some of these areas in New Orleans when the hurricane came up the coast, and the first thing people do is kind of get their life together, kind of navigate what's happened. And then they just kind of build it back. They just start cleaning and building it back. So Yeah, I don't see the purge thing going on. I honestly, I really do think people are neighborly.
From a perspective of not something in the United States, and we talk about how people in the United States tend to be more panicky, like, you know, natural disasters and things like that have happened in Puerto Rico, you know, plenty of times, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a major way. It haven't really happened like that here. I mean, we had some natural disasters, but not to the effect where the whole country has been, you know, pretty much shut down to a certain extent. And, you know, I hate to say it, but that could be a possibility too. Not just shutting down a particular city, but shutting down the whole electric. They shut down the gas. Now, let's just go ahead and understand, even though it could be a conspiracy theory, it could be not true. We do know that everything is run by technology.
Yeah.
Little computer right here. So, and I know you've heard about how the people that are the most, I guess, precise at being able to do that, what the government here does, they give them a choice. Either you're going to jail or you're going to work for us. Because they would rather work. If they can cut through all of the security of the military and all that, they figure we need you working for us. You see what I'm saying? So you do have those people that can get on the computer.
If you have those hacking skills,
yeah,
you're viably employable.
Yeah. So what do you think would happen if they just shut down all the electricity off every grid in the United States? And we can't say it's not possible because it's all run through a computer and through some type of technology.
What would happen?
Yeah. What do you think would happen? How do you think the panic? If we got panic from just gas being cut off, what do you think? When all the power goes off, how crazy do you think people would act?
I hope people don't act crazy. That's my hope for the world. I hope people don't act crazy. But
Darren put a good read his comment. He put a good comment up.
Darren. But if you start talking about how to act, then people will think or start thinking like that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Novia says, so let me understand what you two are saying. So America knows which hacker is arm robbing the gas companies, and the government, CIA, Secret Service can't track them and arrest them and burn them with the same gas they held us hostage from. I don't know actually what happened, to tell you the truth. I was like, this is not energy that I'm putting my vibes into. All I know is that I went to the gas station and it was nothing. It was the gas station closest to me that I go to on a regular basis. It didn't have gas, and I wasn't shopping around, period. So what I get from this situation is I'm sure they know exactly who these people are, right?
Mm-hmm.
They probably can knock on their door and be like, "Hey, can you help us out with this situation?"
Well, they're saying there were hackers that. Okay, let's take it back. Because even with the Russian hackers that helped sway the election, do you believe that or do you not believe that? You know what I mean? It was hackers that did the same thing that kind of, you know, tapped in. Because like I say, we can say whatever we want to say, but one thing we know for a fact, not an opinion, not a conspiracy theory, for a fact, everything is pretty much run through technology and computers, right?
Yes.
So for us to say that someone's not going to be able to tap in, like you see celebrities all the time, their phones get hacked in, and next you know, you got illicit pictures and, you know, graphic pictures, you know, private pictures are there on the internet. You know what I mean? It happens. People are really, really good with what they do with these computers, and some of the stuff that they do is pretty scary. And, you know, listening to the news, they say that the gas thing was nothing. Like, that's the least of our worries. There's other stuff that we really need to be worrying about when it comes to, you know, the cyber hacking stuff, you know?
So I just feel like not trying
to make everybody panic, but I'm just saying.
I just feel like the panicking is unnecessary. And the fear is unnecessary. Like, first of all, be ready so you don't have to get ready.
Yeah.
Boom. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. That's how I feel. That's kind of my philosophy. Like, I ain't 100% ready. Like, I have friends who are preppers, and they got food stored, water stored, gas stored. They got, like, they're ready for the apocalypse right this second.
That's a whole different. We'll do that topic one day, because
that is amazing. I am so impressed.
I've watched that show plenty of times. Watched the shows on TV when you got these quote unquote doomsday preppers and stuff, which to me, you know, it's kind of like But one thing I will say that is definitely, and I think I've talked to you about it before, is being able to live off the land, being able to grow your own fruits and your own vegetables and be self-sufficient versus going to the store for everything. I think that's a good quality to have. You know what I mean?
I grow food. I'm growing food right now. Darren says, and this is where God nature gets us for being selfish. The mindset determines how bad things will be in a crisis. When the gas runs in New York with Superstorm Sandy, idiots hoarded gas, even when they had gas, and we're not going there. And we're not going there.
Yeah, we're not going there. Yeah. I didn't think about that. Were you there in New York at the time when the storm came through? I think it was like a hurricane that hit New York. That hurricanes only hit New York, but it was really bad there.
Yeah. I have friends who dealt with that.
Yeah, that was crazy with her. Yeah.
But in terms of the whole, I guess my position on cybersecurity is you can only do what you can do. Mm-hmm. I'm going to pay all my bills online, on my phone, on my apps. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm not going to live in this like, oh my God, I got to go down to the electric company and get online like my grandmother used to do back in the islands. We would get online for hours and pay a bill. Like no one in the world, no one now does that. Mm-hmm. And I like that. Well, I like the convenience. Like you don't even have to go to the bank anymore. I don't even go to the bank unless it's like absolutely necessary. And usually that's like to get a document or whatever. I mean, you can cash a check by taking a picture of it and it deposits into your account.
Yeah, just like that. Like I said,
I love that.
Technology is definitely making a convenience for us. But at the same time, like I said, I'm not trying to make people panic or go crazy or anything like that. But at the end of the day, we do got to realize that there's some things that can happen right now because of technology that can really, really put a cramp in our lifestyles and how we live and what we do every day.
Like you know what? I mean? Let's talk some examples.
Like I said, cutting off the electricity.
That's not a big deal, though.
That's what you say. But ask the people listening right now, if they cut off your electricity right now, because first of all, me and you couldn't have this conversation right now. We probably couldn't even communicate because, like I said, there's no cell phone towers. So you really don't kind of know what's going on. You can't watch the news. I think you can listen to radio broadcasts because I know
you have a cell phone. You can still have cell phone if you don't have electricity.
I mean, they do have backup generators in certain particular places.
Well, cell phone is not electricity. That's radio waves, right? Isn't that part of like radio technology?
I believe so. Yeah.
Because I mean, like when when I was in Puerto Rico, we didn't have power. I had to plug my phone into the car, turn the car on to charge my phone because there's no power.
Yeah.
So we were living like we were on a boat kind of thing. And you still had cell phone use because there's they were working at the time.
So what'd you do to try to get information about what the latest as far as news goes? Like, how did you just turn on the radio and try to listen to what people were talking about, what was going on in the island at the time? Is that
radio? People have radios that you wind up.
Okay. Now here's another one too that maybe about 2 months ago, it was a situation where a town's water supply, somebody hacked into there, right? And they didn't actually do anything, but they had to cut the water supply off for a minute to make sure that nobody did anything with the cleaning solvents that could go into the water. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that was something like when you tap into the water supply, because it's like it could be 10,000 gallons of water. You put 1 teaspoon of oil or 1 teaspoon of gas, you just ruin the whole water supply, right?
Not really 1 teaspoon, but I know what you're saying. If you put enough amount that it's
enough amount, yeah.
But that's what happened with Maria. With Maria in Puerto Rico when the hurricane hit. So the week before hurricane, I believe it was Iris, hit, and the power went out. But then when Hurricane Maria hit, because that was like 10 days had passed, and another Maria came behind one. It was 2 hurricanes.
Yeah,
I think it was Hurricane Maria. It was 2 hurricanes, which went like boom. Suppose you just get knocked out, and then someone comes behind you and knocks you out again. You're already, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's when the power grid in Puerto Rico completely collapsed, right?
Okay.
And exactly what you're talking about happened with the water supply because they were afraid that there was some toxic stuff that ran into the water.
Yeah.
They shut the water off. So
See?
now there's no electricity, no running water. And because of the hurricane winds, the towers are down.
Wow.
So everything, you're back to like, everything is like basic living. Darren says, hear this. Buy a hand or pedal generator and a sort of large battery or batteries. Make one if you can. You can only need to run the TV for a short time, the fridge for a time, and or charge cell phones for a time. Suburbs grow stuff in pots, one potato eaten with the skin every day and keep you alive. Dandelions can be eaten, leaves, stems, even flowers. Onions grow year-round. Radishes, put them in the ground. Leaves and roots eaten as well. Anywhere, not just in rows. Grow wild. Get a filter. Oh, I'm all about that, Darren, for sure.
Darren got some survival techniques going on there.
Yes. I have a bin that I just got, and I'm about to clean it really well and fill it with water because I don't know, that's probably the island in me is like water. I got to make sure I have. It says, Colin says, no, Sky, the cell phone towers need the grid to work.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
Low tech. Darren says low tech and the ways of the older people living with off the land saved many a people. Yep.
Yeah.
So I've been through certain situations where it was like really simple, basic living. I mean, it's a drag because at the end of the day, it's like, you know, back to like playing checkers and dominoes. If that's what you have to do to survive, then, you know.
Yeah, you gotta do something to keep yourself entertained, which, you know.
Colin says, and a teaspoon of shit in the water. How about a few drops of LSD 25?
Man,
I guess
that's some terrorist type stuff, but you know, hey,
right. Yeah, it depends on what it is. You could put something in the water and it's done completely.
Yeah, all the water. Yeah, and it just ruins the whole supply to a whole city or whatever. So, you know, it's scary. And like I said, I'm not trying to scare everybody.
It's not scary. It's not scary.
Okay, it's not scary.
You know what it is? It's like and why for me, why I don't think it's scary is why is it scary that we have to like.
Because you don't scare easy and everybody else does.
No, it's not that I don't scare
the gas station right now.
It's not that I don't scare easy. It is what it is. Shit is going to happen in the world. People are going to want to try to, you know, it's kind of like Star Wars. Like it's things are going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But it's not scary. It's just, it is what it is. And people just need to realize like, you can either like, oh my God, what are we going to do? We got to run, you know, all this, you know, energy that they don't have to carry, or it is what it is. Like when the power goes out in the islands, you just like, you're here watching a TV movie, a TV show or what have you. The power goes out and you're like, oh, okay, let me go and sit down over here where there's light and read a book. You know what I mean? Or go clean something or go do whatever. Like you just realize, okay, I got other things I can do. You know what I mean? I mean, the one thing about the security attacks on like banks and stuff is since they do know that stuff like this happens and they're insured for it too, right? I mean, like if money's taken out of your account,
to a certain amount, they're insured to a certain amount, right?
Well, you know, we only have a certain amount.
Point taken.
We, you know, once it goes over that amount, we're gonna have to get our own insurance on.
Anyway, yeah, you're right.
So. But the thing is to carry this energy of, oh my God, you know, they're going to attack us and something's going to like I look at the energy of being like this technological world as being like, we are kind of living in like a Star Wars kind of vibe, you know, the next thing that's going to happen. But the next thing that's going to happen is Tesla's, you know, like, you know, we're getting into these like cool car kind of things. The next thing you're going to have is like cars that are floating, like, you know, remember in Star Wars when they were just like floating on, there's going to be no tires and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, like I'm looking at this is all good. Yeah, there's going to be problems with it. Absolutely. And people are going to try to like utilize their information because hacking is a brilliant science to know. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yo, if you're a hacker, I can hire you right now, like today. Like I don't know what I have. I don't have a job for you, but I know for a fact that you're brilliant and you need to be paid well. And that's the thing about hackers is you can't even pay them enough because they can take your own money.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. Colin says, yeah, read a book by moonlight. Yeah. I mean, or candle. You know what I'm saying? Like I've read books by candle. Like what we would have is we would have, like when you look at some of those TV shows and they have like a headlight when they're going like in a cave. So we would have these battery operated headlights to read at night and turn all the lights in the house off.
Wow.
Yeah. And another thing that we did, and that's why like living in the Caribbean and like, I'm sure maybe like in like what they call third world countries. I'm going to use that in quotes because I feel those are the first world countries. But what I've learned from living like that is like living off the land and like just being like easy on the earth is like, for example, it's so expensive to the electricity down there, right?
Yeah.
So we didn't have a hot water heater, which was the number one thing that pulls and draws the most power on your house. So what they did was they had like an electric heater that water ran through. You connected it actually to the shower head. And the water would run through it and heat the shower as it's coming out.
Okay.
And then people would freak out because there's a plug next to your shower and people are like, water plug. I don't know how that works, but it worked.
Yeah, electricity.
Yep. And then I had a shower downstairs in my area that I use primarily. No one else used it because it was cold water only.
Okay.
And like, no one, Americans, they're not trying to, they ain't trying to do that. But I went and took a cold shower for a few years. And I was like, I live on an island. It's hot. And I totally got used to it. And it felt so good.
Well, it's not something that I'm trying to get used to. But
it was wonderful. Like I just felt like so much more healthier that way.
At the end of the day, if it gets to the point where we really have to be able to just live off of the land, it's going to be good to be able to know that you have some of the capabilities to do that and just have some of the tolerance. Because, we're so spoiled when it comes to luxuries and convenience. I mean, I've heard you talk about it too, about certain things, just something as simple as what we have right now as far as Wi-Fi. You know what I mean? Some of the
I love it.
We're kind of spoiled in some of the things that we have. And, going back to the original way of living where you kind of lived off the land and you just, work with what you had, we got so far away from that, within the last, 50 years, because once again, technology has advanced so much in certain different areas. We've gotten spoiled,
Right.
what I mean?
Right.
Some of us even got dumbed down because, technology allows us to just punch something up, boom, and just get the answer versus looking at a dictionary or encyclopedia like we used to, now.
Okay, but here's the problem with encyclopedias because my mom used to work for World Book Encyclopedia, which I think most people had in their house. World Book information was dead by the time you got the books.
There was the most, you said who were dead before you got the books?
World Book Encyclopedias, that information was outdated by the time the books were received at your house.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, so the perfect thing about the internet is like Wikipedia, which is the internet encyclopedia. You can you don't like Wikipedia?
Hell no, they said Wikipedia is always wrong. Anybody can go in there and just put something, as far as correcting it. So they said Wikipedia never really has the right information.
No, it has the right information because we are able to check it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can go in there and see some false information about yourself and be like, damn, well, who put this in? And this ain't, you know what I mean? I heard that Wikipedia is not the best source for getting information.
No, it's not the best source, but I'm talking about if we're talking about encyclopedias.
Yeah.
If we're talking about information, I mean, there's other sources, of course, but let me read some of these comments because they're pretty coming through. So Darren goes, collect dandelion puffs now and keep them dry and in a bag. They grow quickly. Buy mushrooms from the store and let them go to black. Let them dry now. You have spores. They grow in decaying leaves, etc., and grow in the dark and moist soil. And they grow quickly. But the crank generators and batteries are key. He can control heat, and coal will rule and survive in a bad situation. Collect water during the bad storms in case water system breaks down. Buy several I think he wants to say filters. I think our thing cut off. Yeah. But yes, Darren, I actually have a small tank of probably like a 50-gallon that I'm waiting for another good rain to fill it, because I'm not going to fill it with city water. You know what I mean? And what we do is we would fill it in the Caribbean, and then we put like netting over it so it's breathing, so that nothing falls in it.
What about being able to heat the water to kind of purify it and
like to boil it? Oh, I did that.
Yeah,
I did that. Oh, let me tell you what I know how to build.
Huh.
I know how to build a composting toilet.
Okay, you lost me on that one. I can imagine it does the job. Let's just say that, right?
It does the job, but it's not disgusting. Because I think a lot of people think like, oh my God, it's gonna smell. Like that's, us
outhouse does, you know what I mean? Huh? Outhouse does, the old fashioned way, but yeah.
Well, they don't have to. And a lot of times it's because they don't manage it properly. Okay. But a composting toilet is basically creating a system where the waste composts. And so remember, I don't know if you remember this, but I had a farm in Puerto Rico. We created a few composting toilets we had 80 acres of land. Wow. And we created a few composting toilets around the property.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Maisha says, we have a backup plan on how to survive without technology to prevent these things from happening. Yeah. What is the backup plan, Maisha? Tell me about your backup plan, because I'm always ready. Like, oops, sorry. I meant to take that off. Colin said cold showers were just a thing. Darren says, and this must be spoken of in the commonplaces and become part of the general mindset. And one rule, my brother said, be nice and share. Any structured way is sought in a crisis. Provide a good structure. It has for some things Wikipedia. I guess good things. Colin said Tony is so right about Wikipedia.
Yeah,
he said it. So basically, he agrees with you that it's trash. That's my word.
No, they said that's one of the worst places you can go to get information from. At least about a person. Yeah.
Oh, about what? About a person?
Yeah. They'll fool around and say that me and you are dead. You know what I mean?
You can create your own Wikipedia page on yourself.
No, but somebody can go in there and put information in what they think is true about you, and then you can go in there and go update it. But if you haven't looked at the Wikipedia, you don't know what it says.
Right. I like it though. I like the concept of it. Maisha says that is for the government to figure out. That's why we're supposed to. I can't read that. That is for the government to figure out. That's why we're supposed to have homeland security.
But that's if you want to rely on the government. I mean, some people don't really trust the government like that. So, me, I'm not, trusting.
What is for the government to figure out? I'm not sure what she's talking about.
The survival stuff, you know what I mean?
Oh, no. I'm not waiting on nobody's government.
Yeah.
No,
I can't wait on them for that because they
No, sorry, Bob. I'm not. Yeah. I'm not into the government, waiting for the government to do anything, honestly, but that's just my thoughts about stuff. But anyway, I do want to talk about, can I transition?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, but before I do, someone mentioned composting toilets. Colin, composting toilet, please private message me. There is a real Flash Caribbean composting toilet that is too cheap. Oh, I can tell you about composting toilets, and they are wonderful. Darren says, no, Maisha, we need to develop our own power and our own ways of technology. Exactly, Darren.
It's starting to happen. No, people are doing that.
Yeah. But the things that bother me about, like, I've been in the islands for so long. Like when I came here, I was just surprised to hear that you couldn't collect water. Did you know that was illegal in certain places?
Yeah, I know that is because they say certain water is not, this thing says it's not going to be sanitary.
That's why?
Yeah.
So how everyone has gutters all around their house, and then it basically runs on the side of the house, and then it runs out?
Yeah.
Okay. In the Virgin Islands, everyone has the gutters around the house, and then the pipes run down the side of the house, and it goes under the house. The water runs into like holes that they've created. And so the hole underneath of your house is tanks of water. And it's all rainwater.
So through a filtration system or what?
No, it filters once it pumps up and back in, but it stores under your whole house. And you know how much water is lost in rain, and when it rains, you can bathe. And so we take showers and bathe and wash clothes in rainwater, you know, and there is a filtration that you have on your home, you know, and you can purchase various kinds, but let me turn my phone down. But yeah, so I just, you know, when I heard like some guy was trying to rain harvest is what it's called in Florida, like he got all kind of fines, and they were like, you can't do that. You're not supposed to collect water, because I also think it becomes an economic thing, right?
Absolutely,
like we have to pay for water, right? And that's not cool.
You're cutting off somebody's, you know, source of money that they're gonna.
The government. That's, once again.
More capitalism.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about was this whole issue with unemployment and the fact that primarily the hospitality industry is suffering big time because people are going out more. They're going out dining, they're going to hotels, etc. But this is the industry that like was like totally flatlined. And I remember the job that I worked for, I think about 20 to 30 people were let go, and they went on unemployment, and nobody's coming back because they've been on unemployment for a long time. And the problem is that they wouldn't mind working. They say, some of the people are just too afraid to come out into the whole public, like super for real because of the COVID.
Yeah.
Right. That's part one. Part two, I think, is the bigger deal, which is if they work, they're going to lose their benefit. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like they should kind of allow people to work, not lose the benefit until the benefit is over, whenever they said September or whenever, so that people can start to stack money and like kind of get balance, because there's a lot of childcare people have to pay for and all this kind of stuff. I don't think people who are within that demographic financially are, you know, okay, well, let me get this benefit where I make, you know, $500 a week from the government, or go and take a restaurant job for $12 an hour.
But think about this. You're working. The pandemic hits or whatever. You start getting unemployment, but you get more on unemployment than you do when you work.
Right.
So somebody is saying this is the amount of money that you need to live off of. So this is where you have unemployment, but your own employer doesn't want to give you enough money. The kind of wages.
Well, they can't afford it. They can't afford it necessarily. But my whole thing is, you don't want to stay home. Right. The only reason why people are saying, I know people are saying the only reason why they don't want to get an actual full-fledged job is because if they do, they lose this benefit. So since we are in a crisis, this is a whole crisis of our health and what have you, why not keep the benefit going till it's done, till they end it, but let people work and not lose the benefit and stack. This is a specific demographic. Why is being generous such a bad thing? Question.
I mean, that's just, America was built on capitalism, right? And they only want a certain amount of people to be able to make that money and get that money. And they want a certain amount of people to just be out there working and doing the blue collar thing. And, you know, that old bullshit ass
slavery,
pull up your bootstraps type shit. You know what I mean?
And the thing is, if people are able to make more and have more, they're going to spend it anyway.
Exactly.
We're capital. We're commercial. You know, we like, let me go get. Now that I have extra money, I can go buy this, and this. That's what's going to happen.
I mean, you got to think about it too. The service industry is a service industry. You have certain people during this pandemic that I've never stopped working.
Me either.
You think about every convenience store, every QT, every racetrack, every 7-Eleven. Those people have been working the whole time.
All the time.
You know what I mean? They never had a break. They never had none of that stuff. So when you start talking about the other luxuries, when you talk about people going to restaurants and going to go eat and all that old stuff, well, maybe you should sit at home and cook your own food. You know what I mean? But at the same time, let's talk about the Walmarts and the grocery stores, the Publix, and all the different people got to be in there still working, you know?
Right. Okay. So, Maisha said, y'all are paranoid. Are we paranoid about what? What are we paranoid about? I'm not sure what she's talking about.
We're not talking about the government stuff.
I might as well go to another country if I'm going to live like that. What does live like that mean?
I've definitely been considering it. I'm just saying.
What is it? What does she mean by live like that? Live like which way? Which?
Probably not trusting the government.
Oh, no, I'm not paranoid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Darren says, exactly. When the storm Harvey hit Houston, a potential trillion gallons of water fell. If they had a system to collect it, there would have been no water problems. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
1 trillion gallons of water just fell to the ground and just went right into the rivers and overflowed, but people couldn't collect that.
Yeah.
So, okay, Darren says, yep, losing benefits. And for the first time in many lives, they actually get to rest a little and heal, lose weight. People aren't losing weight, though.
Yeah.
Minority landlords need to lower the rent. They survive, and you help your community. A win-win. Both of you are speaking truth, baby.
Yeah.
Thank you, Darren.
Appreciate it.
Colin says, not just in the USA. Specifically, what, Colin? What are you talking about on that particular? Angela says, hello. Hey, Angela, how are you doing?
Hey, Angela, how you doing? Good evening.
But yeah, so I'm just like, I just wish like, and you know, what is that lady who ran for president that everyone just like clowned her on being too like peace and love? You know who I'm talking, Marianne something. Do you remember her platform?
Totally oblivious to who you may be.
Oh my God. She was like clowned all the time. Like, you know, we're gonna, I think on the Daily Show, they talked about her and they were like, you know, we're going to bring peace and harmony into America. And she was like all this, like, it was funny to me. But I really do think that way too sometimes, because I just feel like this is not difficult. You know what I mean? This is just not difficult. Like people can live well.
Yeah.
People can eat. People can have a nice home. It doesn't matter. Like, you know, there's so much division in all ways. You know what I mean? And it's just so much trash. It's just trash.
Yeah. It's true. And it, to me, when the pandemic first started, I kept saying, where is the humanity at? Where is the, you know, let's do something to help people live versus just get back to work and go out there and do what you got to do. And if you live, you live. And if you die, you die. You know what I mean? Like that was kind of like the mindset. For some people, that's okay. But some people, they're just too paranoid. Like I was talking about, there's a lot of people out there that are serious germaphobes that are going crazy right now because of the germs or whatever. I know a friend, he's every time he come in the house, his whole family take off their clothes and take a shower after being outside.
Because of the COVID possibilities.
Of the COVID and all that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, what can you do if America can have a little bit more compassion and try to help out? Because you think about the Canadas and the Europes, all these places where they're giving a certain stimulus to the people and saying, don't worry about it, we're going to get under control. And it's funny how everybody else's numbers are low and we're the highest.
Well, did you see, I don't know if you saw this article on wherever it was. Anyway, they said that the reason why the Amish have very low numbers of COVID.
I didn't hear about that.
Oh, they don't watch TV.
Because they don't watch TV, huh? Well, mentally, if you know that something can hurt you or something.
Well, they're not into technology, right?
Well, they're
the ones we're talking about, huh?
But they pretty much don't even
interact
with regular society anyway. So how you going?
Well, they do, because when I went to Lincoln, I went to Lincoln University in Pennsylvania, which is like right up the road from Amish country, right?
Mm-hmm.
And literally on the way to the grocery store when I was in college, the Amish were on they would be on the side of the road with their little horse and buggy. I mean, you literally would come and pull around them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you go to the grocery store, which I can't remember what it was called, and there was a lane down on the very end of the parking lot was where they had like a little wooden thing that they could tie their horse to.
Okay.
And so then, look, this is what I did when I was a freshman in college. The Amish would be in the grocery store, and we would be following them.
Why?
We want to know what you're buying. What are you buying? What are
you want to know what they're buying?
Is going because they look like, you know, we were dumb, you know what I mean? And we would like go down the hallway and we'd be like, we see them down the aisle and we'd be like, and then we like go back and be like, okay, they're down there. And then we would like push the cart and like go and like look and see what they're it was funny, but it was like we were like, what are they buying? Are they buying microwave popcorn? Because they're not supposed to. They're not allowed to have microwave popcorn.
You're not allowed to have nothing that's modern and
yes, in a box. Yeah. Why are they buying like Kraft macaroni and cheese with that powdered crap?
They grow a lot of their own fruits and vegetables and food and stuff like that. That's everything. So anyway, so I had a really nice chance to like live around them because they were kind of around. And I remember that one of the admins who worked in one of the offices that I frequented, she had Amish neighbors. Okay. And me and her would talk all the time because she was a cat lover and I'm a cat lover. And anyway, she said to me that she was always trying to find the Amish like being hypocritical, right? So they don't have a telephone, right? Yeah.
But they would come over to her house to use the phone.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, there are certain things that you just have to have in this modern time. And even though they might not want to, they're going to use it. You know what I mean?
Hilarious. I love that whole Amish story.
Well, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about before versus relying so much on modern technology and kind of going back to the roots of how we lived as people. You know what I mean? Which could be a little bit more self-sufficient. They stayed there. We just moved on and we're doing what we're doing as far as just modern technology goes and just advancing. And like I said, there's a lot of luxuries to it, but then certain areas we're getting weak, right?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, when you live side by side, people who are living in the past, like the Amish, for example, and you basically like watch them, you pull around them and keep driving and you are already at your destination. They're still cluck, 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 cluck. You know what I'm saying? But why are we going so fast? You get what I'm saying? Like there's just like,
yeah.
Why are we like going 90 miles per hour to get to work? That's how I drive. And I'm just like, is this necessary?
The hustle and bustle.
Yeah.
You
know, you get on that highway in the morning, you're like, why am I here? You know, and when you're able to like ride in a horse and buggy, you can kind of look out and look at the birds and hear stuff like that. Anne Renee Lattimore says the Amish actually has cell phones and other technological devices, but those are restricted to the leaders.
That's my boy.
That's not fair.
Laddie, what's going on with you, my brother?
Do you know who this is?
Yeah, that's my old Navy buddy.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, been my friend for over 30 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on. That's great. But yeah, so I just feel like between technology and the fact that, you know, people are not allowed to get ahead. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're in society, like, is there a way, like, instead of thinking of the bottom line, we think of like humanity? Like, that's kind of like where I am. That's what my platform would be if I ran for president.
Well, I mean,
can't we all just get along?
I mean, and this might be the Libra in me, but talking about where do we find that balance of technology, but at the same time, still learning how to rely on ourselves and what we have as far as just being able to live naturally versus all the other things, all the other luxuries we have.
So here's a thought I've had about the whole technology work thing. And I think someone in this world has already tried to create this. I think that, so before we would use a lot of physical exertion to do everything that we have to churn butter. We have to, you know what I mean? Like everything we have to do takes a lot of energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that using our energy was a more healthy way to live. You know what I'm saying? Because we were like, when you wash clothes, you don't just throw them in the washing machine. You actually had to physically scrub them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was considered hard work. So anyway, I came up with this idea, and this is it's a free to anyone can take it and do it because I don't have the means to create this. So if someone else is doing it out there, very cool. How about create
a padding on it?
Huh?
You don't want to put a patent on this?
No. If it happens, I'm grateful. I'm really grateful. But I think someone else. Okay, say people who go to the gym, right? And I'm not saying people who go to the gym. I'm saying like everyone has to go to the gym and go to the gym for like 30 minutes a day. That's pretty
where you're going with this, but yeah, go ahead.
So all of the equipment in the gym is connected to the power grid. So the whole, and then you have to go, like that's part of our society. So you're getting healthier because you're doing a little activity, whether you work in an office or what have you. And then also you're helping to keep the society like lit.
Well, when you have major corporations that always want to work people because they always want to do more with less, you don't really have the time if you don't work the 12 or 13 or 14-hour day. You trying to go home and take care of home, go to sleep and go back to work again, right?
So maybe we can have it where it's like an app, and then you have your own like Peloton, you know what I mean? Or your own, you know what a Peloton is?
Yes, the treadmill. Yeah.
You have your own Peloton and it's connected to the power grid.
I mean, yeah.
Or to your own power grid, to your own home.
Sound like some Fred Flintstone.
I love it.
Type stuff to me, but hey, I guess it can happen though.
It's like you got to get on this thing so that you can have electricity, and everyone in your household got to work out. And then what's going to happen because of the hierarchy of life. People are going to be like, "I'll pay you to walk on this thing for the rest of the day," and then you'll have slavery again.
There you go. You done took us back 400 years.
I'm just saying, like, that's what's going to happen because people are like, I don't want to do this. So,
I mean, when you think about that, you think about how they talk about how our dams, how they work as far as all the water being held up. And then as it goes through with the turbines and it creates electricity from the water using it as a source, you know what I mean? Yes. So, kind of like in that same light, what you're talking about. I get it.
Yeah.
You're just talking about a human doing it versus water doing it or something like that.
Well, we can have different. We got to have different avenues. The big part of my reasoning is because we are depleting the earth of oil.
Yeah, resources. Yeah.
Right.
But then.
So we can have this luxury life. Like, what is the cost of that?
But do you really think in the next 50 to 100 years? Vehicles that are run on gas and fuel and fossil fuel, you think that's going to be? I think they're going to be obsolete. Now it's going to be a lot of resistance because oil companies make billions and billions of dollars, but
they're going to be out.
Yeah, eventually you're going to have electric cars, which we already got. We're going to have solar power cars. Yeah, even some cars. But it's definitely not going to be fuel and oil that are
going out
to get these vehicles around. So I think it's going to be something different.
It's definitely going to be out.
Yeah.
You ever heard like a Tesla or any of these electric cars? They don't have any sound.
They don't make any sound. And they definitely are cleaner for the environment. But something just happened with Elon Musk, and he did something with the Bitcoin because he said people what they're using to get the Bitcoin or something like that. It's burning. I forgot exactly. I don't even want to speak on it because I can't remember. But I know it has something to do with I can't even snipe it. It's missing me right now what I'm trying to think of, but something with the air quality or something like that. Yeah. So anyways, yeah.
It's okay. Darren says, I think this is more of Darren's healing the earth remedy. Separate capsules, put on spoon, white willow, golden seal, echinacea, which is white willow bark is, as everyone should know, is what aspirin is made from. Okay, we all knew that. Golden seal, good for immune system. Echinacea is good for your immune system as well. 2 drops of oil of oregano. Like, oil of oregano is like so powerful. It's an antiviral and it's like an it just kills everything. Crush 1 2, huh?
I didn't know that. I knew it was good, but I didn't know it was like that. Okay.
Oh, oil of oregano. If you don't have that in your home, like, yo, crush one chewable vitamin C tab, black elderberry, cover with 10 level Manuka honey. Manuka honey is very healing to the body. Think about what this is for. Breathing easier in 10 minutes, pathogens dead in 24 to 48 hours. And I had the same exact idea for the flywheel generator gems. Bottom line, that would only work with a 6-hour workday. And the people determine the times, not a centralized power. Yes.
There you go.
Darren, you're so brilliant.
There you go. There you
go. Like myself. Anyway, yeah. So, I mean, I just feel like,
I like what he said, what my boy Laddie said about employers should mandate or allow a 2-hour lunch to work out, or any other company. Yeah. I think that's true too. I think they try to work you so much and they don't give you that time to do what you need to do for you, just even for the health part of it, you know?
Yes. So when I was in West Africa, the country was here it is. It's the Ivory Coast. Boy, I couldn't even think of it. Okay. I was in the Ivory Coast, and the one thing that they had, and a lot of countries do this, and I think we need to do this over here, like pronto. They had what is called siestas.
Siestas? Party?
Yeah. No, not a fiesta, a siesta. Okay. So what they would do is they would work from 8 to 12, and like what you would call a lunch break, they would go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, if you were the bank teller, she would roll up her little mat right under where she works and go the heck to sleep from 2 to 4. I mean from 12 to 2.
12 to 2, okay.
And they get up and start working from 2 to 6. It's still an 8-hour workday. But imagine you get 2 hours to actually sleep and rest in the middle of the day.
Well, I mean, it kind of goes back to what they say. Most people don't get the proper amount of sleep that they need. And then you have the weirdos that only need 3 hours or 2 hours sleep. Those people are weirdos. Me, I can't believe that you can function off of 3 hours, 4 hours sleep.
Trash.
But your body actually needs 6 to 8 hours, right? Ideally.
Yeah. But that whole siesta thing. But look, at between 12 and 2, we're like, oh, like everything just got quiet, and you know, like the lines are gone and everything. But then everything is closed, right? And so the whole society shuts down. For 2 hours in the middle of the day. It's a beautiful thing.
Well, I seen something similar to that when I was in Africa in Djibouti, when I think from 12 to 4 or something like that. But they were praying during that time, because I guess it was they were Muslims, and they prayed from like 12 to 4 or 5. I can't remember exactly how long it was, and I don't know. They probably was praying for it to cool down, because that was the hottest place I've ever been on earth. Good Lord. But yeah, they did that, and they opened back up the whole town again, you know, later on, and everybody did what they needed to do. But
was it a special occasion, or just it was?
No, they did it every day. They did
from 12 to 4.
I believe it was 12 to 4. I can't remember, but I know it was more than 2 hours.
Right.
They prayed for, because everything was shut down in town, and we couldn't do anything. And we went back out later on at evening. Everything opened back up again. But it's kind of like America has so much of the hustle and bustle that it doesn't allow you to have that time to stop and kind of think about what's going on and what you could do or what you should be doing, because we're steady. I think these other countries, they take that time to slow down and do other things that may be important as well, versus just working on
quality of life.
Yeah, and chasing that money. Yeah.
Yeah, quality of life is so much more important, I think.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
So, yeah. I think this was a good conversation.
Yeah, I think it was. And we touched on 2 conversations for the first time in a long time. But we need to remind everyone to check out the YouTube channel, subscribe, and like, share.
Share.
We're trying to get our YouTube numbers up. You know, if we can. The platform streams simultaneously on Facebook and YouTube, but we're trying to get our YouTube numbers up. So if you guys can like on YouTube, like the YouTube page, and share, and even comment if you want to comment on something. Appreciate it on Facebook too, but if you could do it on YouTube, that would help as well. So Sky Juice is going on a vacation here.
No, it's fine. No, but we're gonna talk
for the show next week. I'm just
well, we're gonna talk. We can. It it really depends on Wi-Fi.
Okay.
That's
Well,
really if it's good, we'll do it.
Okay, so if we don't see us next week doing the show, it's because of some technical difficulties or whatever. So we'll just kind of just play it by ear, right?
Yes, we'll play it by ear because we play. We like to play.
Yeah, because well, definitely nothing Sunday, right?
I'll be on a flight.
Yeah, so definitely nothing Sunday for sure. So Tuesday and Thursday, we'll just kind of play it by ear and see if we can.
Thank you, Colin, for being here. And Maisha says meditate. Yes. Can we spend some time and meditate?
Yes.
That's hard for me, but we will do some more. But anyway, I just want to tell y'all real quick. I got we got some more really cool conversations to have. One is a friend who healed himself of multiple sclerosis. And I think that's going to be very interesting to hear about. And I really feel like
as well.
Yeah, like we need to heal. So anyway, we are out and have a good evening. It is midnight here. So sayonara.
Y'all tuning in and supporting the show.
Peace.